by another 7 seconds. But Habig drove like a man possessed to also win stages 10 and 11. But it wasn't enough, as he only managed to reclaim 4 seconds.
There were still 2 small obstacles in the way between Fecken and the Rally of South Africa glory. After nearly 200 kilometers of gravel road racing in the forests around Warburton and Punboldt, the remaining rally crews returned to Ermelo for a final showdown. 2 runs in front of a large crowd around the specially built Ermelo Super Special stage. In previous years, the Super Special was a dusty affair, but this year, dust control experts Dust Aside joined the action by treating the entire stage with a secret formula, keeping the dust to a minimum. This was necessary as on a Super Special stage, 2 cars race each other over different loops of the same stage, often driving in their competitors and even in their own dust.
This year, the drivers could concentrate on the task at hand, and for Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh, that meant beating Tiensuba and Henny Boertes to take over 6th position. The Castle Toyota Auris started the 2 Super Special stages just 1 second behind the Salon Blue Polo, but Gemmel was just a little too strong in the air. At the front, Jan Habig and Douglas Judd threw everything they had at Fecken and Aries and went on to dominate both runs over the Ermelo Super Special. Habig even managed to take a massive 9 seconds out of Fecken's lead, but it was a little too late. The gap was simply too big and Fecken emerged victorious by 23 seconds. While Fecken was driving to protect his lead, the gravel road warriors and the remaining classes were having their own battles in their respective classes. Going into the Rally of South Africa, Evan Hutchison and Alvin Coetzee were joint leaders in South Africa's premier front-wheel drive class, Class A7. But their misfortunes on the tough day 1 removed them from this battle. The Motorrad Toyota Runix soldiered on during day 2, despite the broken drive shaft, and completed the Rally of South Africa in 17th position overall, good enough for 3rd in Class A7. Defending class champions Chris de Wit and Dean Redlinghuis finally managed to turn their season's fortunes around. De Wit had very little time behind the wheel of his Team Total Evolution Runix so far this season, but drove well in the battle for Class A7 honours. It was also a welcome return for de Wit to the class podium, and although he missed out on the class victory, he wasn't too unhappy with his 2nd in class and a fine 11th position overall.
We've been matching the front pack all the time, but we had a few penalties and that, so we're a few seconds short.
But for the 3rd time in 2009, Class A7 belonged to the young talents of Stefan Wolken and Greg Gericke. The Pan RC Striken Express Volkswagen Polo was once again simply too quick for their competitors, claiming a fantastic 10th position overall, and now moves 1 step closer to their goal of becoming Class A7 champions.
Yeah, after the last bad mishap, I'm glad to be here.
The trio of Team Total Evolution Toyotas continued their domination of Class A6 during the 2-day Rally of South Africa. Craig Trott and Robbie Coetzee's consistent run came to an end when they rolled their Runix on stage 11. They got the car back on its wheels and managed to still reach the end, but nearly 14 minutes were lost, relegating Trott to a non-point scoring position. Mohamed Musa and Grant Martin continued their day 1 form by setting faster stage times and increasing their lead in the Total Auris over the Runix of teammates Rodney Versage and Callan Swan. But a mysterious problem in stage 7 robbed them of more than 2 minutes and the Class A6 lead. They had no choice but to settle for 2nd.
In stage 8, the car just cut off for no reason. We had to bump hard and it just died.
Musa's problems opened the door for Rodney Versage and Callan Swan to steal the Class A6 victory. Versage is one of the most consistent drivers around and rarely makes mistakes, exactly what you need to win class championships.
I think Mohammed and I are now equal on the points, so yeah, he's going to be tough.
In Class A5, former circuit racing driver Riyad Jaffer and experienced navigator Henry Dearlove finally managed to reach the end of a national rally in their Team Cecil Toyota Yaris. Cape Town youngster Ashley Hake Smith and Hilton Orphy also reached the end of a long and tough event in their Team React Toyota Yaris and just missed out on a Class A5 podium. The final step of the class podium belonged to Vusi Mabanga and Sean Fisser in their similar Total Evolution Toyota Yaris. It is Mabanga's 2nd consecutive class podium after he won the previous round, but this time he had to be content with 3rd. Piet Bacchus and Paul van Wyk drove a brilliant rally in their Komatipoort Sasol Volkswagen City Golf. On the last forest stage of the event, Bacchus still had a commanding lead over his nearest rivals. but a class victory was not to be. A wheel punctured and 2 minutes as well as the class victory was lost. So a bit of luck allowed former Class A5 champions Guga Zulu and Carl Peskin to score yet another win. The BP Ultimate City Golf of Zulu had a flawless run, and as any rally driver will tell you, when someone has a problem, you have to be there first before you can benefit from it.
Yeah, it was a tough one, you know, and my human GPS over here kept us on the road.
Class N3 goes to the rising talents of Dave Compton and Pierre Jordan and their team Sasol Toyota Runnings. Without real competition in this class, Compton has his sights set on his overall position and speed instead of class wins, and should be fairly satisfied with a fine 16th position overall.
Yeah, we have to pace ourselves according to the A6 guys and sort of try and keep pace with them just to keep at the game.
Jan Habig fought hard, but it was still only good enough for second, as Hergen Fecken takes his second victory of the year by 23 seconds. The Damso name appears on the leaderboard for the first time this season, ahead of Mark Grenier and the first production calf, Charles Wilken. Hubert achieves a career best finish, while the Class A7 calf, Stefan Wilken, completes the top 10. Time for Hergen Fecken and Pierre Aris to not only celebrate their second victory of the season, but also a return to the top of the championship points table after a fine drive.
Yeah, no, the championship is looking good. I think we're now 6 points in the lead, but it's still close.
Jan Habig and Douglas Judd won 7 of the rally's 13 stages, but had to be satisfied with champagne from the second step of the podium.
A little bit disappointing that we should have chipped away a bit harder, but I think second of all good and we didn't have any problems, which is more important.
And what a welcome return to the podium for JP Damso and Andre Vermeulen.
We're really happy. And now hopefully in the next rally we can give the other guys a go, you know, for high up on the podium. And yeah, hope the rest of the season's good for us.
Charles Wilken and Greg Godrich were 5th overall, but maintained their 100% winning record in the category for production cars.
Yeah, from yesterday, the class hit us self-destruct, and we just had to keep it nice and clean, and we drove a nice, steady, fast pace today. No problems with the car, and yeah, another win.